What is popping, Chain Gang? It's your boy Karionyte Gaming. Call me Parker, Kari Cage, or anything of the sort. I'm here with, as always, Aiden of Blue Couch Productions.
Yeah.
And God damn it, we have Cowfro, otherwise known as. Wait, do you want to otherwise known as, or do I need to call you Cowfro?
What were you gonna call me?
I was gonna call you your name.
What's my name?
Maxx. Nah.
Nah, you gotta stick with Cowfro.
That's a little kinky. I didn't need that.
All right,
Yeah,
so
you better
Daddy.
say it like that. You better stick with Cowfro.
God damn it. All right, so basically, what we got here is another episode of The Other Side of the Fence, our very, very, very self and emotionally destructive podcast that exists, unfortunately.
Aptly named, too.
Aptly named, indeed.
We always talk about fences, and
It is a Holocaust reference.
50% of the population should be on the other side of it. That's
honestly,
that's just a me thing.
I mean, it'd be perfectly balanced as all things should be.
I didn't need that. That ruined it. I'm sorry. This joke sucked.
You didn't need
bad.
I'm pretty sure we needed that. Okay.
Wow.
So, we have a pretty meta topic today. And it's probably not even going to stay there, but that's all right, because, you know, there's no format here. We're just a couple of guys, a couple of bros, a couple of dudes doing our thing, and that's all that really matters to us. So, it's just a little thought process, really, to know what is your opinion on that of innovation, and when is it a gimmick and when is it innovation?
Oh man, I totally thought you were gonna hit the abortion topic. I am so relieved.
Oh no, abortion definitely is innovation. So
You're not wrong. I'm just glad that you see that.
Okay.
Whereas the coat hanger approach is definitely a gimmick. There are better ways to go about it, I feel.
In my personal opinion, I think that now in current states of abortion, they get that little suction cuppy thingy, and I think it's like the Ghostbusters thing. It's so weird.
So the doctor just comes in with a proton pack and just shoves it up the urethra.
Honestly.
And out go the baby.
I mean, so I played South Park: The Stick of Truth, right?
Okay.
And there is a mission where you get an abortion.
Oh.
And they're like, all right, put the thingy in here, and I'm like, wait, but where are you putting it, bud? And it genuinely looks like a weird mixture between the proton pack and then the ghost pack from fucking Luigi's Mansion. And I don't know if either is better. Also, I sent a picture of what the other side of the fence thumbnail is, and that's how holocausty it is.
A little bit.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the game sounds very educational. I haven't played Stick of Truth yet, but thank you for that visual. And yeah, no, the thumbnail looks great. I don't get it, but it looks great.
You should get it. Anyway, so
Taking stabs at me. I'm gonna steal your Jew.
Already. Already.
Hey, we're both Jews.
I'm more Jewish.
He is he's more Jewish, yeah.
Hold on a second. Does this thumbnail say the other side of the fence?
Oh God!
That's why I'm confused.
No.
I thought you guys knew that.
Oh God!
Has this been a thing, Parker? Have you not corrected this?
I didn't know. Oh,
You got my confusion.
God!
I'm gonna go to Karionyte Gaming.
Well, you should get it. I'm like, I don't, though.
Oh.
I swear to God, if this is the episode 1 thumbnail, I'm quitting this podcast.
Nah, you gotta keep it now. Please, tell me the secret, Parker.
The secret
Hold
of
on.
what?
This has been a thing for 4 months now.
And nobody said anything. Oh my God!
Why have I not noticed this?
I didn't even notice it.
I questioned it.
Oh my God!
Like if you scroll down, you do get to see my new kick-ass thumbnails for Skyrim. Am I right? Those actually.
Oh. No. We're not moving off this topic. How on earth did you think to yourself? The other side of the fence, and then publish it, and not look back on it and be like, you know what, this might be an issue. This might be a problem.
I'm honored to be here. By the way, which side of the fence am I on?
Stop!
That's gonna be the only me with this podcast.
Well, Christ. Well, since you're a guest, I'm gonna put you as close to the internment camp as I can.
You would.
You really would.
Don't worry, I'm gonna take Aiden out just for the memes.
Oh, wow.
For the royal mayonnaise. Yeah, I'm glad.
That'll go well with the people that watch me for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so actually, we should get around to that. So, if you guys didn't know, Cowfro makes pretty good content.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, it's jumpy as shit though, so it's like it's quality. It's pretty much better than everything I do.
You ever wanted to take like a competent video and then interject just a little bit of PCP in there? That's the easiest way I describe the content.
Man, what the fuck did you just say?
It's just like normal content with that tiny amount of PCP.
I'll let you know my secret about my videos. It's like they have no time to realize how bad they are if I just keep throwing more shit at you.
As we're throwing more shit at the wall.
The thing is, I only deal in gallons of PCP.
See, that's your problem right there.
You call
it all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Have you? Oh, you clearly don't like the whitest kids you know, because that's a fucking experience, good buddy.
Is it, Parker? Can I get an example?
Well, you see, there's an entire sketch that's just a guy carrying a gallon of PCP.
Oh.
Oh no. No, I'm familiar with them, but I don't watch them.
I'm uncultured.
Well, yeah. I don't know why it took you that long. I mean, I had to show you Kingsman.
Anyway, back on the main fucking topic, Mr.
Thank you.
Mr. Of the fence over there.
Stop it!
I can't believe this bullshit.
Am I not allowed to make an accident? Your mom was, but it's not fair. You see, this is just nice.
Okay, anyway.
The bad thing is I'm talking about Ethan.
You can like hear Parker in the background double clicking, just pulling out his Word document. He's like, comebacks for Aiden. Let's see.
Let me go down this Google Doc.
Yeah, it's
He's already gone through half.
I'd make it public.
Half of them for sure. Anyway, the topic, good old innovation versus gimmicks. A lot of times when movie theaters and video game companies and music labels are like, darn guys, they're not quite selling like they used to. People aren't going out to the theater paying $25 to go see Avengers Infinity Mindfuck. This is bad. Movies are gonna die. We need something tangible to get people out of their Netflix and into the theater. And some guy looks over and says, "What if
we make it all in 3D?
What if
big old black dildos sticking right out of the chair?
What if every time Thanos comes out on screen, you smell great in the theater? Like, wouldn't that be epic?"
No,
and then
it really wouldn't.
They high five and sit back in their executive chairs and think, "Wow, we solved it, everybody. Movies are great again."
That's a good idea. I'm just saying, let's backpedal to my first idea for a second, because I'm just thinking, like, what if, like, obviously you're not going to bring the family in on something like this, but just
you're not?
Just big old, just hollow out the middle, just slap a big old rubber black dildo right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Let them figure it out.
I feel like, too, you could integrate Pornhub real easily for, like, a sponsor type deal. So even if not enough people show, you'll get the sponsor money from Pornhub.
So you got the Pornhub money to pay for the dildos. You got the movie sponsoring the whole thing. Now we just need movies playing in there, and the seats will fill themselves. I can see it happening.
They will.
Absolutely. I'm not lying when I say this, but isn't it kind of weird how like porn used to be a public thing? Like they used to play. They used to play porn at like drive-in theaters.
Oh yeah. That is a little weird, I have to say.
Yeah, like, because
where else are you supposed to meet a girl?
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
Back alley. The back alley.
Like, you know, it's kind of a shame they don't exist anymore. Like, where are you supposed to meet people? Online dating? Like, it's kind of a shame this isn't a thing anymore.
Are we talking about drive-ins or, like, porn at a drive-in?
Doesn't matter.
Because you got a point. Because, in my genuine personal opinion, I kind of think that drive-ins were some of the, like, one of the coolest, like, concepts that were ever touched on. And the fact that they don't exist anymore really breaks my heart.
Because people think it's a gimmick.
You know? Yeah. Actually,
people think it's a gimmick.
Oh, shit. There you go.
back on there.
Man.
Yeah, drive-in theaters were like, why would I go out in my fucking car and waste gas to watch a movie when I could just walk down to the local fucking heebie-jeebie movie theater and watch the live-action Scooby-Doo without a car? Like, it's easy.
Sure.
I mean, I just think there was something sweet about looking at a big-ass screen while you're
getting boned by a rubber dildo?
Yeah, like, you're just looking at a big-ass screen, you're in your car, you're probably going to have a kid in a couple of months, but it's just
I don't think you can get pregnant by those chairs unless they're not cleaned.
Hey,
Well, hold on.
Yo.
This brings up a good point. So after one showing, does the sanitation crew have to come in and clean that shit off? Or...
Absolutely. Do you want to get sued?
I just feel like that's cutting into the profits a little bit if you have to pay.
I'm being realistic, not insane.
A sanitation crew like that.
Yeah, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this right.
You gotta get like Clorox, baby wipes, like
the fact that you had to ask. I'm worried somebody's gonna do it wrong now. Like maybe we should do it. Maybe we should do this because like I'm worried somebody else is gonna fuck it up.
Fucking Lions on our theater. I quit.
Can I go?
Motherfuckers automated. We need to get different senses for. Well, I don't need to get into dildos. I'm sure you guys know dildos fine.
Yeah, we'll go to the patent office.
No, we have
file that patent later.
He's basically a dildo. We love him all the same.
Anyway, on the other side of the fence.
Aiden! Oh, stop it!
Actually, I don't know. Like, that's tough. But yeah, we see movie theaters, we see music companies, video games, always trying to find the next best thing, the next big thing. And sometimes it ends up being like, oh, the 60 FPS games, aren't those cool? To, what if we played The Hobbit in 48 frames per second for no fucking reason? Like, different kinds of shit where, like, this could potentially make our media better, and on the other side of the fence.
Stop it!
Could make it infinitely worse, and spend a lot of useless money in the process.
I like how the first episode is like, oh, are we entitled? Are we fucking dumb fucks? And the second one's like, oh, like what determines quality, and how is YouTube worth it? But no. Now it's just gimmicks of the fence.
Okay, my movie theater. Fuck me. Speaking of weird comments, this is what Patient DM'd me. In fucking, I put it in VC. She said, "You ever thought that maybe the divide between boobs and ass stems from who was breastfed as a kid and who wasn't?" That's a pretty big, deep question.
I mean,
I'm not sure I could qualify the answer to it.
The genuine reason why people are attracted to, boobs and ass. I'm sure, attracted to boobs in general is because they once supplied life. But, that's no true. Pun intended. God damn it.
That's true.
It's hard for me to weigh in on this because I've never been attracted to anything ever. Not even
that's why you have it. Anyway, sometimes you just wonder.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is why this podcast falls apart, where Parker is at the helm of it. Because anytime it needs to get back to any semblance of a podcast, it just goes to...
Yeah, you got to bring it home. No, I thought that was your job, Aiden. I thought that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
He's my Aiden Parker, on Anchor.
I can't tell which one of you is on the other side of the fence.
He holds me together because he's my
I'm just saying, if I leave Parker to do it himself, we're going to end up with a lot of, that feel in dumb shit like that. That's
back in the day, podcasts were just talk shows. So, like, if you look at that thumbnail, all it really is one of you is sitting at a desk and the other one is sitting in the chair. Who's in the chair and who's behind the desk?
I'm definitely in the chair.
No. Yeah. Yeah, you are.
You see, I have really good stage presence, but he's good at holding me together.
Right, and then Aiden's behind the desk with the coffee cup. Just like, all right, let's stop making Jew jokes and get back on track here.
We only got 5 minutes till the Huggies ad read, so...
wiping their ass in 5 minutes. Can we please get back on track here?
Yeah, you got a point.
I gotta have my cheap band that I got off of the Home Depot play in a couple of minutes interview to go a little bit quicker.
That needs to be your thumbnail right now. What? You need to do this whole entire thumbnail over, and you need to have like you and him
I agree.
at the desk.
I agree.
Show.
Well, it's not even the of the part that bothers me. It's just like none of this shit is centered, and it's all like, where does your eye even look toward when you see this thumbnail? Do you look at me? Do you look at Vince?
The internment camp in the back.
The internment camp. There's like 30 things, and none of it is organized.
Took my attention immediately. Honest, I was like, what is going on?
Upon first viewing, the internment camp really caught my eye.
Wait, guys.
Yes.
I have to. This is a legality. Give me a second. This podcast was made possible by Audible. Audible is the leading provider of audiobooks. They have over 1,800,000
again?
of audiobooks to choose from. Visit www.audible.com for a free audiobook. This is the best place for audiobooks, and I cannot recommend it enough. Oh, sorry.
Audible would only have to take 2 minutes to get the abortion Ghostbusters comment and be like, you know what? Maybe this wasn't the best idea. I was feeling real good about those other side of the fence boys, but when they brought up the proton pack abortion idea, that's
this is
when I lost
why
it.
You're behind the desk and he's in the chair. Because you got something out of that. I was sitting here like I heard Audible. I don't know what any of the rest
I
of
feel
that
like
was.
fucking Aubrey Plaza right now.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Wow.
So here's something. Maybe talking about the topic is too big boy brain for this
Audio.
podcast.
Actually,
So
I was about to say that
Absolutely.
audiobooks are a gimmick.
Instead, why not ask a question? What, in your opinion, has been the biggest gimmick in either movies, games, or music recently that you just cannot stand? Like, what's your biggest pet peeve gimmick you've had in media before? For me personally,
How you personally?
it'd probably be the fucking Wiimote. I don't like the Wiimote
Really?
one bit. I don't. No.
Why is that?
It's just more specifically when I have to have games with a Wiimote and a nunchuck, my hands start cramping up pretty badly after an hour or so, and I'm like, God, I just
think
want a
that's
GameCube
more of a
controller.
being out of shape kind of thing. But
I just want a regular controller because holding what is essentially a giant fucking dildo and a tiny little stick in one hand, believe it or not, is not comfortable. And I get there's some games that work really well with motion controls. I'm not throwing out the whole idea of motion controls as a fad. What I'm saying is the Wiimote.
Not true. Untrue.
What I'm saying is the Wiimote as a concept to me wasn't the best way of going about it.
All right.
I can agree with that. That sucked. That sucked. I know everybody was into it. Old people loved it.
I
like,
hated the
Wii Sports, great. Like,
The Wii
I sat
is a
there and
gimmick.
tried to play Twilight Princess with those stupid fucking things.
Just the other day, I was playing Mario Galaxy 2, and I'm like, damn, the level design, the production values, fucking Lubba, like, I'm all into this. But I can't play the game for more than 30 minutes because I hate using a Wiimote and a nunchuck to do it. And I'm like, wouldn't this game be 1,000 times better if instead of doing that dumb Wiimote spin every time you wanted to spin, you just had a button to press? Like, wouldn't this be so much better? But, like, no, they made two really amazing games locked behind what, in my opinion, is an awful way to control.
I mean, I couldn't agree with you more because I have literally referred to the Wii as a peripheral.
Yeah. It's like...
It's not a console. It's
a slightly higher quality GameCube with a fucking Wiimote.
It has the same fucking energy as a goddamn Power Glove.
Mm. What about you guys? Now that I kind of brought the question up, what about you two?
Actually, before you do, I just want to say this. There is a concept in which motion controls work, and VR.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it working in VR.
It's mainly because it's like literally the selling point. But
right.
And I don't know if you've watched any of my VR.
But even with VR, like, you can have a controller if you want.
You can, but the motion controls there work, and like they work well.
That's why I don't mind shit like gyro in Splatoon or in Breath of the Wild when like you can shoot with a bow and arrow by having your Switch gyro it or whatever. Like that shit's fine. I like when it's like an option or like a tiny thing to enhance an otherwise good game. But having the entire game be like that, unless it's in a VR environment, it's just not fun for me.
That's fair. All right, what do you think, Max?
I mean, I got to agree with both of you guys, and this is gonna make the podcast not that fun. But man, I don't have any gripes with that shit. I don't know. I can't think of any technology that upsets me that we have.
Like
right
rumbling
now.
seats in movie theaters, 48 frames per second.
Well, I personally take a lot of joy in talking shit about things I don't like, and so everything's kind of on the same level. Being a cynical, grumpy man.
8D audio, that's a new one. Where it echoes around you to make it feel more immersive when it's just an editing effect.
let's just go with Snapchat in general. I don't like Snapchat.
Why don't you like Snapchat?
The entire platform of Snapchat, in your opinion, is a gimmick?
I don't like what happened to it because I used to love Snapchat, and like what's happened to it over the years, like I guess that really upsets me.
So you'll have to educate me on this because I've never used Snapchat before. What about it is gimmicky?
And I use Snapchat all the time.
Well, when I used to do online dating, everybody wants to hit you up either through this app or that app. Most people want to talk to you through Snapchat, so I got Snapchat to talk to somebody and then another person over time, and before I knew it, I just had a bunch of contacts I didn't really want to talk to on the app, and I think that was the case for a lot of people when they first started out, and I think the app kind of built itself around this superficial kind of like, all you want to see is hot bodies, and that's all I really see advertised to you. If you go to the website right now, it's got like all these like recommended things, and it's just like half naked people, and
Okay.
Well, I can promise you,
I don't know, like. It used to be like this website where like you took funny pictures, like Instagram filters, like the dog thing, and I don't know, that it was funny, it was cute, it wasn't a big deal, it wasn't like something to be upset about, but like this
now it's just sex and nude,
trying to become just so that it can survive and not die off like it should. I just don't like what it's become.
Fair enough. What do you think, Parker, about that? Because you've used it before.
Well, you see. You know every meme video I have on my channel?
Yes.
Like, to reference for you guys watching at home, I'm talking like...
Why did I put peanut butter on a sardine? This was disgusting.
Yeah, when my fish doesn't have peanut butter on it, or I've lost myself, or every like, what's the cult classic? I'm not dead, my nightly routine.
The one where you're half awake with no clothes on.
Yeah, or from Hurricane. These are all cult classics, by the way. But all of those are just things I posted to Snapchat and then saved and then uploaded. I use Snapchat constantly because I feel like it's a good way to reach out to the people that like to call themselves my friends. But a lot of them are fake ass bitches, and I hate them.
See, that's what it is. It's just fake people. There's just so many fake people that you don't really want to talk to.
But the weird thing I've noticed is that there's fake people in every format.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but like you have.
There's something conducive.
You might use Facebook, or you might use Instagram, or maybe use Twitter, whatever it is. You have your way of like typically reaching out to your core friends.
Well, yeah.
It's not Snapchat. It's not Snapchat for anyone. Unless you're trying to make a living on that website.
How do you make a living on Snapchat? Other than
I don't know if I want to get into that on a podcast, but hey, if you want to talk
I was gonna say the only way I know you can make a living is like with a private Snapchat, with like sending your hee-haw.
I have a hard time watching my tongue.
Fun fact, Pro Jared had several naughty Snapchats.
There you go. That's a good indication of where I'm going with this. Like, it's not...
Fun fact, you don't have to censor yourself on the other side of the other...
Which side of the fence do I have to be on?
Yeah, well, first off, you have to find the other side of the other fence of the other foot.
Okay, so the other problem with the other side of the fence name, right, is like, when you hear other side of the fence, it's like, oh, kind of like a debate show. Like, there's two different sides to it. One guy's going to argue one thing. One guy's going to argue the other thing. But me and Parker just fucking agree on everything.
Not true, because like the name came from the fact that we changed, that our opinions weren't the same.
Were they, though?
Yeah, we had a debate at the end of the first episode, and that's why it was the other side of the fence.
I don't know.
Well, what I'm noticing is, if you two do agree on something so far, I think I've disagreed on it.
Well, there you go.
Well, you're the other side of the other.
You're gonna get a little pushback from me here because I don't know anything about VR.
Well, you see, so actually, this might be a good topic to jump into then.
Wait, you haven't got your answer, Chief.
What do you mean?
Your answer of the worst gimmick you hate.
Oh, 3D. I think
3D,
it's abused now.
That's an easy one.
In the early days of 3D.
Yeah, I hate the future.
That's right. Like in the early days of 3D movies. I'm talking like, not
Shark
like
Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah,
Spy Kids.
Those ones were literally made for 3D. I'm not saying they were good. I'm not saying
that was a joke. 3D's been around since a
well, yeah, yeah, like that's like the red and blue ones. I mean, like the days of like commercialized 3D, like where it's a constant thing.
Sure.
So, Isn't pretty much every movie we see supposed to be in 3D, quote unquote, at this point?
Well, like they have a 3D version of it that you can watch, but like 9
Yeah.
times out of 10, you don't go watch it because number one, it's a headache, and number two, and most importantly, it's more expensive. Like
Yeah.
you're paying more money to see a 3D version of a film that wasn't even made in 3D. So like, what's the point?
And that's my problem with it. I think that it enhances Jack comma shit. And like the days where they actually made 3D movies to make 3D movies, it was interesting. But now that they don't, and they just market it as such, it pisses me off.
It's hard to make money off of that.
I'm gonna have to agree with that, unfortunately, because I wanted to be the guy that just disagrees with shit. But man, this is exactly why.
That's Anthony Fantano. I'm gonna have
exactly
to.
Why? Yeah, this is exactly why movie theaters need giant dildos in their seats because 3D is not going to bring these people in. I went to see Infinity War in 3D, and that was the most unpleasant experience I've ever seen in 3D. It was
Who needs
so
3D when you have 1D inside of your seat?
3D is out, anal is in. Let's
gotta try something. Seems like a win to me.
Shift with the times.
So I do want to touch on VR.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this has been considered to some of my friends the dumbest investment I've ever made.
How much you spend on it?
$300.
Continue.
I didn't pay for it. It was a Christmas present.
Okay.
Actually, it wasn't a present because I had to pay my grandfather back, and I just did. He said if I bought him an Nvidia Shield, he'd buy me an Oculus Rift. So he did, and I did. Now the thing is, I didn't know what I was getting into. This could have gone so wrong, but it didn't. The reason it's the dumbest investment I've ever made is because I had so little, like, guaranteed understanding that it could have gone so much worse. It just did.
I mean, at the worst, you get, like, VR porn, you know? At the very least, you have that.
It's not as good as you'd think. But,
really?
Yeah, VR porn is actually kind of lame.
But
kind of, maybe you need, like...
It's a little sad.
I feel like if you buy the tie-in, like, they have like, fleshlights and stuff that react to whatever. Yeah, because like when you're trying to use your own fleshlight and then you get kind of lost because like you can't see your hands anymore and you get kind of confused. But so
yeah, I'm not into the idea of putting a helmet on just to like get myself off. Like I like to just be done with it. I got shit to do. Like that's usually where I'm like, fuck, I'm horny again. Like I don't want to. Let me put the helmet on and strap myself into my old fucking movie theater chair.
I like how you've gotten to the point of age where like being horny is an inconvenience.
It is an inconvenience. You know how fucking busy I am? I'm like, god damn it. I don't have time to be putting on a helmet and shit. Let's just get it done. Let's go.
I like to think that
right here in the bathroom at fucking California Tortilla. It don't matter.
I like to think that me and Parker get to the point where being horny is an inconvenience, so we might as well wrap it up there. Call it.
I think I'll kill myself.
Tie it up in a knot. Say not right now.
You sound like my... Anyway, so, I think that it was a dumb idea, because that was like $300 that could have gone wrong, but I think it's handled very well, and we're coming to VR as a medium of entertainment that's actually being worried about and cared for by the developers, finally, because, you know, it was touched on in the 90s with the VR, the Virtual Boy, and that was a dumb...
XD.
Yeah, right? It was real dumb. But this is genuine, and I think what they're doing with it is excellent. Especially that Marvel VR game. I need to update upgrade my PC. I say that a lot. But when I upgrade my PC, I'll be able to enjoy VR so much more. Because I'm a little bit behind on the graphics when it requires that much. But it is an experience that I think shouldn't be labeled as a gimmick anymore. Because at this point in time, everything VR is trying to do, it's doing pretty right.
So I guess the other question I have then, if VR porn isn't any good, are VR movies good? Is
that
a winner?
I've genuinely not watched any VR movies.
Wow. Damn.
I
kind of wanted to do that.
thought about it. I just haven't had the time. I've been able to use VR for a lot of things. I've tried VR exercising. Like there's boxing, there's like yoga, there's so many VR like things you can do. And as you know, I'm a very, very avid Beat Saber player.
Sure. And
Beat Saber actually helped me lose a little weight, I'm not going to lie. And it's a good way to stay in shape because I like music. And music is really good for me to exercise too, so it was a lot of fun. I think that there's so much more to VR than I've even gotten to at this point. Because okay, so there's this game I have called Hot Dogs, Hand Grenades, and Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. Mm-hmm. So it's a typical sandbox shooter where it's really just a gun test, not gonna lie, and there's not like any human things to fight against. You have hot dogs really to shoot at, and they're like human sized or whatever, and that's as close as you really get. But it's really just you shoot at a target, you get used to it, and you have fun in the sandbox for as much time as you can. And they had a game mode that was called it was called Meat Grinder. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Because, like, they have one called Worst World where they have, like, the giant hot dogs, but they're, like, robots and doing the whole Westworld thing. And you do it with them, and it's fun. But, I get to Meat Grinder, and it's Saw. It's literally fucking Saw. And it was terrifying. Because I'm sitting here...
Cool.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot of fun. But, you know, I'm in VR. I've never had the actual opportunity to try a scary game in VR. Except for when I played Five Nights at Freddy's. But, I'm sitting here...
like a good reason to actually use VR. Like, if I could get scared shitless, I'd be totally into
yeah, it's so crazy.
Like, I can't imagine a reason to be using it that would be just sitting down and playing the game normally.
And I just jumped into it. And I see this, like, there's this disembodied voice telling me how to play the game, and he's like this funny game master kind of guy, and he's setting up traps to come and kill me, and I've never been actually anxious playing a game like that in a long time, and I really respected that because it added a whole new level, because me having to, you know, deal with this escape room level shit with like traps everywhere, it felt like it felt right. And I really want to, okay, so like there's YouTubers out there that do that, like, oh, locked myself in VR for a couple day challenge or whatever. I want to do that, but
that's nice.
I need somebody to feed me.
Damn.
Could you imagine, like, Parker just strapped into, like, a horror game and he's just playing it and this guy pops out and he's like,
yeah, he's fucking...
He's just like, I respect this.
I mean, I have footage of me playing Five Nights at Freddy's, and I was so antsy and freaked out the entire time.
Well, I think part of, like, having a giant fucking helmet strapped to your head can be a little claustrophobic.
You see, that's what you'd think, but after a while, you kind of forget about it. Cause like,
well, that's what makes it so perfect for horror. You're like, what did I fucking put myself into? This is crazy.
Right. Like you're trapped. There's no way out of the helmet.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, but otherwise, like, if they, like, I don't know. I've done things at like arcades and stuff where you put yourself in a headset and like you go skydiving or something, and it's just like, this is lame.
Yeah.
This ain't fun. But that's as
fun
fun as
out
like
of a fucking real plane.
Yeah. Let me just jump out of something real. This is killing me.
I don't know. I just feel like where we're coming from at this quick moment, we have a lot of opportunity, and especially because, like, right now, okay, so this is a weird theme I've had, and I think every podcast I've ever done. I always talk about how right now we got shit going pretty well for us, and like sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, there's more YouTubers with 1 million subscribers than there ever were, or there's technology is advancing so much more than it ever had, because if you look 40 years ago, and you'll see Pong, right? And now we're at like The Last of Us. We're at like so many other really pretty games.
We go back to Pong.
Shut the fuck up.
Last of Us bad.
He hates The Last of Us.
This, right? Pong's a good game.
I didn't say Pong's a bad game.
Pong legit.
That on either side of the fence.
Stop it!
Back and forth, if you will.
Back and forth.
I think
right
that,
over.
Jesus
or
fucking no.
Other.
Christ and a half. I think that where we are right now, we're only going to keep moving up, and give VR another 10 years. Guarantee.
That's my plan.
And
yeah,
Christ.
That's where I'm at too.
It's going to get so commercialized, and I'm excited to see what happens. Hell, I really want to see full dive tech, because I know it's possible. And now we're going to get into another bad opinion of Parker's. So,
yikes.
You know,
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess just to comment on your whole VR thing, I think for me, there's like two ways I can look at it. On the one hand, it's still very much early adopter tech, where I don't feel comfortable spending upwards of $300 on something that I might not like get a lot out of.
Yeah.
And I think it'll still be a while before we have like the VR game. And I'm not talking like a sandbox experience or a rhythm game, or like, I'm talking big ass, motherfucking, from the ground up, 5-year development cycle, like a Breath of the Wild or Skyrim type shit. Where it's like, okay, let's really, really see what this could do before I get like, yeah, I need to buy this now. On the other hand, though,
on the other side of the fence.
On the other side of the fence, I will counter argument and say to your point, Parker, of VR is not just a games thing anymore. It's for production. It's for working on videos, on movies, on all sorts of stuff. In
a social aspect.
You can watch movies with it. You can listen to music with it. Like, it's not just a games thing anymore. And while games could be cool for that, it might not be the thing that pushes VR over the top. It might simply come down to the fact that, like, if VR is just easier to do certain things in a workplace environment, or if VR is a more fun way to watch movies or listen to music or whatever, that might be the thing that pushes it over the top. But we are clearly not there yet.
For just like training people in hospitals how to do like open heart surgery.
Oh yeah,
like it could have its uses for sure.
All sorts. I think when
it becomes that mainstream, it'll be that much more worth like looking into for whatever you want it for.
We're just not quite there yet for me.
No, and I think you're right. Just like 10 years from now, it's like
10 years.
Everybody can just take for granted, most likely.
Yeah, and even if the games aren't incredible, like there's still a good case to be made that VR is still this popular mainstream thing, just for other applications as well. The technology's that cool.
Would you label it as a gimmick?
I wouldn't say so. I think.
Not this far along, because that open heart thing I was talking about, that really is a thing. So I can't think of it as a gimmick at this point.
I've seen forklift driving like simulations where you like drive a forklift in VR and then you can do it on the job stuff, or with people with like disabilities too.
Right. If it's got practical uses, it can't be a gimmick.
It can't be a gimmick is the thing. For games, you can make that argument, but for other aspects of it, no, absolutely. VR is here to stay for a while, especially as it gets cheaper, and like you mentioned, more developers and more people get on board, the bigger and better it's going to be.
You know, there's actually Valve came out with the VR system. It's called like the Knuckles or something. Yeah, it has
like the Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah,
just a big red Knuckles.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Like I got some time between like questions. I feel like I should be more of a host. So while I look up a real question, have you guys heard of Valve? They make games. Well, they used to, but not anymore. Hang on a second.
No, so
Google says, "How's the weather?" You got anything, Parker?
Yes,
anything
I do. Jesus Christ. So Valve released the Knuckle, and it's like this new...
Oh, that's real? I was joking. My bad.
Yeah, it's real.
It was still really
Why
funny.
is that real?
Oh, no. It's a new VR thing. It's like a new innovative controller system for VR, and it's called the Knuckle because like you have full finger support now.
Oh, it's kind of goofy.
Yeah, it looks goofy as hell. But
I'm looking it up right now. It's kind of
it's real.
It's a weird thing.
Now, people are theorizing that okay, so you know how Half-Life 3 is a meme?
Yes.
They think Half-Life 3 is going to be released for the Valve console because every Half-Life game has been released when a new with new innovation. Like the leaps between Half-Life 1 and 2 are substantial, and they believe that the way that things are going to get handled, they're going to release Half-Life 3 for an entire VR concept. And I'm excited to see how that happens.
Well, if you want people to be on board, you need that gimmick, so that would be a perfect gimmick.
Now, you see, that's the thing. Gimmicks are relative.
Yeah, you need to draw people in with that gimmick. That's I'm serious.
Oh, hold on now. Parker brought up a good point there. That being relative. I don't know if I agree with that entirely. if the idea of a gimmick as a whole not being a gimmick for other people, like I don't. Ooh, that's interesting.
Sounds like you're on the other side of the fence.
God damn it!
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by gimmicks being relevant, Parker? Because I want you to kind of explain yourself before I really argue a point.
Well, I want to make sure I worded this correctly because
okay,
Watch would just be wrong. When I said it was all relative, I mean that it's subjective.
Ooh.
In the way that something could be a gimmick to one person and not to another. I think it really depends on where you're coming from in the situation. Because as myself being, I have open arms for innovation. I always have.
Sure.
I appreciate things like that. Especially like fuck it, Elon Musk is trying to put us on the moon or Mars or whatever the hell. And I'm like,
where's he trying to put us? I don't know about this.
Daddy Elon. He's working real hard out there.
I didn't agree to this. Where's he trying to put us?
Look, I'm half black, so last time somebody tried to put me somewhere, it didn't go very well. But, I don't know.
The fuck? Okay, so here would be...
Play the fucking race card here.
Here'd be...
race card, vroom vroom.
Here'd be my counter-argument to this. Of it being all relative and subjective, right? Is we take something like a smell-o-vision or a 3D or whatever. Something that we can all agree in this group as is a gimmick. Yes, like 3D and smell-o-vision, not exactly
certainly
an innovation, if you will. So, if these things are gimmicks and they don't last and they're stopped being developed on, whether or not people liked it, that would still make it a gimmick, though, right? If they stop with 3D and smell-o-vision and it's just put down, it's done, it had its run or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's like the proof of it being a gimmick. Even if people subjectively liked it or subjectively thought it wasn't a gimmick, at that point, I think it gotta be a gimmick.
I'll hand you that.
Right?
That's a fair point because it makes me think of like Guitar Hero. Like it's totally possible to make instruments out of toys and make it easier to play because they're just made out of buttons. But, you know, they had their time. They might come back. They might be able to make some money off of their little thing, but at the end of the day, people are still going to want to learn how to play an instrument, so it's kind of just a gimmick. As cool as it is, and as real as you can make it seem.
Just don't say that to fucking, like, Zach. He'll kick your ass.
Now, like...
Dude, he's working on Solus 4 right now, buddy.
I will verse him in Dragon Force. We will go there.
We'll go there. But with things like VR, I agree, like, some people may see it as a quote-unquote gimmick, but if it's around in the next 10 years, then people like Zach or people like you and me can't call it a gimmick anymore because it's proven the test of time and everybody has one now, right? But if things stop development and they don't make enough money and they're put away, I think that, at the very least, is the point where we can all be like, yeah, the Power Glove didn't work out, probably a gimmick. And there's a bit of relativeness to it. But I also think there's a bit more black and white as well. Being like, yeah, this is a gimmick. This didn't do well.
Well,
that'd be my counter argument.
I can respect that. I think
back on the other side of the fence.
God
Parker,
damn it!
If you're not gonna be a host, I'll be the fucking host. Shit. Back on the other side of the fence, we have Parker. Parker, your rebuttal?
Well, I don't know. I can't retort because he's not wrong.
Thank you, Porky Pig. What do you want me to say with that?
But I that's all, folks.
All right, then on the other side of the fence.
I'm totally okay with people enjoying their gimmicks, right? If you like your 3D, if you like your smell-o-vision, you like the wibbly-woobly chairs in the movie theater, and you want to pay $30, like go ahead.
Is that what we're calling the dildo chairs?
The dildo chairs, whatever. If you enjoy it,
chairs. Are we patenting that? We're going in business.
Going to the copyright office.
It's all part of this. This recording is all part of the copyright.
Dr. Cocter.
People can enjoy those things as much as they want. It doesn't change the fact that
they're remote control. They can enjoy it all they want.
Right.
Right. I can put whatever lens I want on it, but a fish is a fish and a gimmick's a gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say you're wrong.
Shit.
I wouldn't say you're wrong.
And I'm sure there's a gray area. I'm sure there's going to be like, oh, what about this particular thing that doesn't fall in either camp necessarily? And there's always going to be that gray area. But I think, like...
You're not wrong.
Probably isn't as big as you think. Like, it's probably not... Probably aren't a lot of things that fall in that gray area.
Alright.
I
What's another thing?
But I'm excited for VR. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think as time goes on, a conversation like this just seems a little more and more unnecessary too, because it will become a typical thing in everybody's life, and at that point, I don't think people are going to even be thinking about it the way we are right now.
We're laughing at the funny robots that get knocked down, but when they take over the world in 20 years, it won't be a gimmick, you know? It'll be
it won't. Befriend them now. Don't smack your alarm clock, you know? Don't slam the microwave door. Let them know, like, I appreciate you being here. Don't
this
like
robot uprising's a big gimmick, everybody. Oh, look at me. Fuck it. Beep, beep. Take over the universe. Okay. R2D2 looking ass.
You say archetype looking ass?
R2D2 looking ass. Beep, beep, boop, boop.
Typical beeping ass.
You're telling me Amazon Alexa's gonna grow arms and beat the shit out of me? I don't think so, Chief. That's a gimmick.
I don't think it takes that much to beat the shit out of you.
Did you guys ever see that Disney original TV movie where they had like a smart house? I think it was called Smart House.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Smart House is good.
That's just gonna be the entire planet. It's just like that house. That's just what's gonna happen.
It's funny when the mom died.
Just expect it. You won't even be thinking about controversial thoughts like this VR stuff right now because you'll be too worried that like house mom is gonna like.
If robots make up 99% of the population and they see through a virtual reality landscape, VR by extension would not be a gimmick at that.
Because then it'd just be their.
Whoa, man.
Yeah. It wouldn't matter because we'd be in a bunker trying to fight off the robots.
Still
but, you know, I just want to be right. That's all that matters.
Once they learn how to breed, it's over.
I don't care for robots.
Once they learn how to breed, that's the whole next step for them. That's when we're screwed. That's when they say.
Don't worry, I'm 17 and I still don't know how to breed.
We're all gonna be on the other side of the fence.
Hey, wait, Aiden, do you know how for me to get to the other side of the other fence?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Just gotta make sure.
I think every time you make the other side of the fence reference in this podcast, you need to have like a gate closing sound effect.
I feel like that's more editing than this channel.
Okay, I kind of want to talk about this. Cowfro.
See, this is why you need to hit me up for editing. I don't think you understand the downtime.
Cowfro. Motherfucking Cowfro. Been all up in the sound effects. I post like a funny haha sound effect in a video. Cowfro like, what's this? What's the sound effect you got over there?
Ooh,
a couple of days later, someone puts a sound effect in the Cowfro like, ooh, this looks interesting. What's been up with you in the sound effects recently? You've been.
Really?
I think you have. Every time I see somebody post a video or something, you're mentioning something about a sound effect.
A sound effect? I don't know. You'll have to bring it up when you see it next time.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
There's multiple times now where I'm like,
new sound effect. Ooh,
the only thing I can think of is like I know Kyle posted a video once and it was so hissy and I was like, if you need help, I don't mind like helping you because I feel like people will probably be more likely to sit through the whole episode if they can hear him better. That's all. But I don't remember anything else. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Oh!
I figured out what it was. So in the 911 operator episode of Lions on Air Gaming, I put a dumb boo sound effect of something, and I put Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
Bazinga.
And then Cowfro had commented about the studio audience sounds were hilarious, and then I gave him the sound effect. That's what it was.
Oh, that's not at all what I was thinking you were talking about.
That's what it was. Like little dumb sound effects like that.
I just thought it was funny. Just had me laughing. I'm sitting there, I'm like, a lot of the time when I watch people's videos, like I'm usually doing something else and like just hearing those little cues and stuff when you can't always watch the visual, it's just like, that was good.
Comedy.
Okay. I get you.
Man, how often do you watch my videos like that? Parker,
I don't watch your videos, to be honest. I watched the one with your grandpa.
I haven't even watched that one.
That was a good one. I've watched a couple more, but you really videotape your face too much, and that bothers me with content creators. And if you did that less, I would watch you more, but that's just me being honest. And also, hi, my name is Max. I'm very, very blunt. But
May I
say
ask why?
Love, man.
Not why you're blunt. I meant like...
I want to hear this too. This is actually a really interesting opinion. I haven't heard this before.
I like watching everybody that's on... Alright, because I don't really hang out on either of your like Discords, but we're all on Zax.
Nobody's on my Discord, buddy. Don't worry.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I have my own Discord, and like, it's just my friends from like around here.
Sure.
Yeah, as you do.
But we're all on Zax, and I try to watch everybody's content. I just like to see what everybody else is up to. I don't know. And then I legitimately always enjoy watching Zach's content. I legitimately always enjoy watching Aiden's content. I am trying to enjoy your content, but your fucking face is in so many videos, and I just I don't get why are you doing vlogs, because you don't shape it like it's a vlog, but then there's your face, and I think I don't think anybody else is going to think like that. It's probably just me that thinks like that.
So I guess to ask the question then, is it Parker's face or is it a format thing? Because me and Zach on occasion, and Your Everyday Nerd and Back to the Video Games, we're mostly on camera for a lot of it. So
when you guys
is that
were doing
the issue?
another YouTube podcast, that other podcast, you guys know I was watching more than anybody besides Leah probably.
Sure.
But
we have more
you guys put out a lot of things that are obvious, but they just kind of need to be said, because it's kind of common sense, have a format, this or that. You guys had a topic every week, and you really hit on it really, really well, and I actually thought that you kind of had that bleed into your own projects, and I kind of did the same thing. I was like, that's a good idea. I really should be trying to have a bit of a format to this, and I told Parker before you got in the chat, actually, because he mentioned something about his content, but I was saying something along the lines of I think you have real potential. I just think you need to keep doing it. That's all.
Well, thank you. Now, but
that really didn't answer the question.
Yeah, it didn't answer the question at all. What the fuck's wrong with my face?
Question, because I just wanted to say that. That's all.
Okay, so you said
my face.
You said Parker films himself too much in front of the camera. I hate when other content creators do that. Is it a format thing, or is it Parker's face? Or
Oh, that's your question. My bad.
Yeah, I like where you went with it, and that was very charming.
Yeah, no, I don't like looking at people's faces, period. I don't want to look at your face. If it's somebody using Pokemon, hopefully I'm answering this correctly. If somebody's playing Pokemon Go and they're like, all right, today we're walking around San Francisco, or it's I don't know, if it's Parker, or it's, let me think of somebody who's more famous, the McJuggernuggets guy.
I don't want
That's a name I haven't heard in a hot ass minute.
Well, but his format, he has his camera in his face most of the time, and he's just doing all these emotional reactions to this totally real stage shit. And whether it's staged or not makes no difference. It's just I don't know. I don't get this whole let me put the camera in my face thing. It's not something I can imagine most people want to watch. Why would you want to look at someone's face?
Interesting.
But when do I do that? Because I know I have a face cam in my videos, but that's pretty much it.
I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of your stuff, to be fair. If you put out something and you're like, yo, I put a lot of this, please check it out, and I watch it and it seems like something you put a lot of time and effort into, I would say, yeah, this is great, but please, I'm not trying to blast you here on a podcast, but please.
I'm not trying to gaslight you on your own
stuff. Send me the
stuff.
thing you're the most proud of, and I just want to see what it is. And I'm not trying to sit here and act like I'm some great video editor. I don't think I am. I know what my secret is. I make short jump cuts to kind of ignore from the fact that I'm putting shit out there, So
Sure.
I'm just trying.
I've just never heard that opinion before. I don't like seeing people's webcam at all, and that's really interesting to me, because I've always heard the rule of thumb be if you want an audience, they have to see you, and you form a personal connection, and through that they turn to your content more. But that kind of makes sense how you ordered it though, because you're never on camera unless you're in that cow that cow mask or whatever.
Right, and you're not gonna really see me ever or my face. That's not what it's about.
There's a picture of him on screen.
That's a really, you know what? That picture's got me dates. That picture ain't going anywhere. I don't have that much hair on my head anymore. I think I'm starting to bald. So no, that picture's staying. But anyway,
that's really fascinating though.
Jablinski Games?
Yeah, Jack Black.
Yeah, me and my kid actually watched Jablinski Games, and we both agree. We're just we love watching it, except when he does these close-ups on his gross face. It's what are you doing?
Wait, Jack Black is a gaming YouTuber?
This is old news.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you should watch his content. It's
That's
fun.
So great. I love Jack Black.
It's family content, too. You can totally watch it.
Doesn't sound right.
So it's great.
So, if I do something, Back to the Video Games, where I'm on camera, but there's still cuts and footage, and it's not just me in front of a camera all the time, that's fine to you, right?
Yeah, like there's plenty of YouTubers I can think of, like.
What about my face?
Obviously, nobody's gonna be like JonTron. He's his own thing, but the guy cuts to his face, and it's not obnoxious. He's not up in his face, you know.
But what if it's something like an ass sack or questions on the couch, where it's literally nothing but us in front of a camera talking about stuff? Is that different?
I don't watch those. I gotta be honest. I don't watch those, and that might be why. I don't know why I don't watch those. Maybe I don't like the format, but I don't actually watch those a lot of the time. I do sometimes because I just want to support you guys, but like I don't.
Or what about channel update videos where you're in front of the camera? Do you hate that stuff too?
Yeah, why are you updating me? Just do it. Don't tell me you're doing it. Just do it.
Interesting. Oh boy,
that is interesting.
We might never go back on topic, Parker. This man's found out some interesting YouTube opinions.
Why not? I mean, just why not do it? Like, I hate that I haven't done a Cowfro video in 2 months, but like, man, when it does come out, it's gonna be awesome. I've been putting so much time into it. Like,
yeah, but this is when you tell your fans where you've been and
a week before. Like, oh, new video coming out.
If they're your fans, they're gonna stick around. They're gonna wait for it because they know that. They know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, but a lot of YouTubers just disappear off the face of the earth, and then they never come back.
Dude, I went through 2 years of television production, and that was a while ago. But like, I don't think a lot of the things I learned applied to what I'm doing now. But I think it's worth mentioning that, like, as long as you bring in that audience, they're gonna stick around. I don't know. It's as simple as that. They're gonna stick around. It doesn't matter what updates you have.
And I think two things to back up Cowfro's point there is, number one, like,
in my own home.
A lot of creators now are not just relying solely on YouTube. So things like Twitter to update, Patreon to update, and email lists, like, there are better ways to update that doesn't involve a video. even if that's where most of your audience is. Like, you can still update through Twitter and the like. And I think the other point going for Cowfro here too is that if you're gone for a lot of the time, audiences will leave, except in the one occasion where nobody else is doing what you're doing, right? JonTron can leave for 3 months because no one's going to do JonTron as good as he will in that
and if that's...
I'm willing to do JonTron.
Why not do something different than everybody else? If you're doing something everybody else is doing, what makes you so unique that you think people should be watching you?
So I understand in a world where Cowfro doesn't show up for 2 years, you're not going to get a Cowfro replacement. When he does come back, it's like, oh, okay, fine.
Well, whatever. I appreciate that you guys think I'm unique enough to that. That's actually really refreshing to hear. I mean, but there's other people that do the kind of stuff I do.
But not in the way you're doing it. Not in the way you're doing it. I don't think.
I don't think so. You know what I try not to do that a lot of other people do that I think is similar to my content is they do that thing where they turn the mic up as loud as they can and blow your fucking eardrums out just for the meme's sake. I don't do that. Right, yeah. That's not cool. Like, I'm trying to watch a fucking video. Like, are you fucking kidding?
Yeah.
No, I'm parking now.
I think too, another thing is just, and correct me if I'm wrong if this isn't the case, you're not going to a Cowfro video for the personality of it. You're not going to hear about Maxx's day or whatever. You're going to hear it because it's funny and it doesn't take that much time. And you're like, okay, this is nice. Or you get like a really bizarre, really weird gaming video. Like, cool, whatever. Whereas I feel like it's a little bit different for me and Parker and even Zach back in the day where we did like 30,000 different fucking series. And the only way I can even imagine of how that potentially even worked for the longest time is because the personality was the one thing key throughout. And so I think for like channels like ours, it's a bit different that like you could do a channel update video simply because they're coming here for you and not necessarily the comedy aspect of it. But maybe I'm wrong about me.
You're absolutely right, and it's no different for me actually because I've probably been on YouTube longer than any of you guys. I mean, I all these idiots who watch Charmander is Gay, the great.
What year did you start YouTube?
Whatever year YouTube came out.
2006.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's when I first started my first year of like television production class, and I got all into it, and like every person in my class was like. We were all buddies, and we'd hang out, and we'd do, like, video projects all the time. So, like, there's tons of shit that I put out that first year. Like, sure. I mean, I've always been all about YouTube.
And that's another point, too, that I just thought of, is, like, 2007, 8, 6, 9, and 10 YouTube very much not...
He's
very much didn't work off of the personality-based shit that we see now. A lot of, like, 2007 and 2008 YouTube was like, hey, I found this funny, weird YouTube video online, and you would watch it for, like, 3 minutes or whatever, and be like, wow, that was good, I'm gonna subscribe, and get another funny, random-ass video. Whereas nowadays, it feels like, more often than not, it's all about, like, series, and vlogging, and being on camera, the whole breed of...
Like, my video was literally trending at one point. Like, that stupid, horrible, racist video was trending at one point.
Because that's what YouTube was all about back then.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's a piece of YouTube history. I've privated some other things that I wasn't proud of exactly, that I didn't necessarily want any part in, because, like, it was like a group project at first, but it was like, I had the password, it was my email and everything, so
sure,
it was like, I just kept the channel. But,
like, you could throw that in with a bunch of racist ass YouTube
and voiceovers. So I would say just voiceovers and skits was like 90% of what YouTube was.
Right, and I remember being into that stuff, but by the time I got into it, it didn't seem like the best way of doing things anymore. And
we would watch what's his name, Donald Glover, do skits, and then we would be like, let's go do something like that.
Let's go do something like that, right? Or you would see Smosh do something like that and be like, man, that was funny. Let me go make my own.
We thought they were the shit back then.
They still are the shit. Sorry.
No. And like nowadays, it's like
they've actually gotten a lot better ever since
every day, weekly vlog, like daily vlog, daily let's play, daily like gaming video, daily skit. It's like.
Right. Yeah. Well, then I had the kid, and then I couldn't do YouTube for a while because I got really wrapped up with taking care of a baby. But once I started having more free time, I started uploading to that channel where I'm doing like Don't Live Like Me's, and I'm like trying to evolve that channel into like what YouTube is expecting these days. They have these stupid vlogs, so I'm like, I could do a vlog, but it's got to be me. It's got to be unique, and that's kind of
somewhere
it's back to is that you kind of got to be unique if you want to get any attention.
Somewhere down the line, it became more about like putting a lot of videos out rather than one really good one. Right? See, algorithmically, it made more sense to put out more videos rather than one really good one.
Very true. Like you said earlier, how personality is a lot of saving grace. You see, you guys, Max, the thing with you is your channel, your meme vlogs and everything you do is much more unique than anything we do. And that's what gives you a bit more.
I disagree with you guys, but thank you. I would disagree with that, and I want to interject once you're done.
Okay.
Yeah. Finish your point.
So, and then we go over to Aiden. Now, Aiden, with your entire channel, with your meme,
I have influences on my sleeve. That's just me.
And the things you do, you're more unique than I am. But I make gaming let's plays, which is a dying art. I am a dying art. I'm dying every day.
We're all dying.
Just yesterday, I when I was like slaving away with these thumbnails.
Yes, which do look better.
Well, thank you. I actually really love these, especially like the number 7 one. Like, Drake, where'd you put the Horn of Oregon wind collar? But I get a text from this guy. It's like Double Bananas Production or whatever. And then, yeah, it was it was fucking weird. But
this sounds like a good channel.
Yeah, and it has like 300 subscribers, and then they have like 40 views on each video, and they make like text commentary on like funny moments gameplay, and I'm like, okay, that's cute. And he said that I really like your personality and then the gameplay and content. You just keep it up, and I'm gonna be here to watch it. Don't worry, I subbed. And at first I thought it was spam. And he said, I have some content on my channel that's just like it. And I looked over and I was like, shit, he makes like Skyrim videos too. That's crazy. And I'm like, wait a minute. If my personality is my only saving grace, I just need to look prettier.
What kind of takeaway is that?
No. Like after changing everything, like slaving away and putting a lot of effort into it, I realized that if my personality is going to be my saving grace, I just need to get that things eye catching. And with you guys being original, you're safer, is what I'm trying to say.
You went like 99% of the way there, and then ended it off with, "I need to be more hot."
I took that great speech of where you're coming from, but I think your mind is just in the wrong place.
And then ended it at being hot and eye catchable, which is not where it should have ended.
Wait, fine, let me try that again. Hey, but that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for Aiden. No.
So are you saying that you're videotaping yourself because you think that your face will bring in views?
No, I mean like I need to keep my thumbnails pretty. I need my channel to be more eye popping, so my personality will hold on to them.
That's not the takeaway, though. That's absolutely not the takeaway.
No, he's right. It's not.
The takeaway is your personality is what drives people there, and so you, as a creator, have the opportunity to try anything at the wall. And because people love your personality, if you find something that really hits and really claps, you are there. you are there. But you have to be willing to try that shit sometimes and not fall into that rut. Because, like, formulaic series stuff is things that people can get from anywhere. It's what you have. It's what people are showing up for, right?
That's true. And I make the content that I love to make.
Oh, sure. If you like what you like, I'm not gonna say don't do it.
If you like what you like, he's not going to say don't do it, but he would definitely recommend 1,000 things that I've heard the kid recommend thousands of fucking times, and one of them is just find some structure here, and it would go.
And I think I have structure. I mean, I have my live plays, and I have my Skyrim every week, and I love that.
Okay, good. Then keep doing that, and maybe less of like these random like video updates and stuff. If you're looking for suggestions.
Wait, what video?
If not, I'll shut my mouth.
What were you gonna say, Cowfro?
What video?
You were gonna say something earlier.
He said that he
about you being unique.
My content was more unique out of anybody that we basically all mutually know, and I don't think that's necessarily true. I think it's different than everybody else's, but I don't know if it's more unique.
That's a bit subjective too, right?
Yeah, just because like there's a lot of ways to combat that statement. Like for example, like I met Zach on a Boogie's Twitch stream, and he was trying to shout himself out and get attention, and people jumped on his ass and started giving him shit for trying to get attention on his channel, and Boogie didn't even notice him, and I think I noticed him like trying to shout himself out, and then people like jumping on his case. And then Boogie was like, can we stop picking on people just because they're trying to, like, grow? It's hard to grow here. And I was like, it is fucking hard to grow here. So I was like, yo, man, and I went and followed him, and that's kind of how I met the dude. But
Zach always has the best introduction stories.
He really does.
When I started watching his content, I don't see how it was any different than
he didn't have anything special
doing right now. It's just that he, over time, kind of grew after, like, a couple of years of knowing the dude. And that's where I see you're at right now. You're kind of trying to place where like you can do something regularly that has this nice format that can definitely bring in a view or two.
At what point did you know Zach? Are we talking pre or everyday nerd? Are we talking recaps, Beach Games? Like,
how long have you known Zach?
I mean, not as long as you guys, obviously, but like when he was still Sabijan Games, he was still making updates on Sabijan Games. Saying, now it's going to be this, and I was like, okay, well, I haven't been following you that long, but okay, here's another update.
That's when you knew him then, pre-Zack Snyder Productions, pre-your Everyday Nerd, right?
That's different.
When he was still Sabijan Games before he had the second.
So you've been around longer than I thought.
Yeah, that's longer than I thought.
Because I know that I was like the last person in the group to meet you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't, like, just jump out and be like, hey, guys, we're all friends. You know, I just kind of, like, collected all of you motherfuckers over time. Like, I was friends with Aiden right after anybody else. I didn't talk to any of you before I spoke to Aiden next.
I don't really remember how I met you.
So you were in the audience of, like, pretty much the biggest transition I've ever seen Zach go through.
Yeah.
Where, pre-Zack Snyder Productions, he was making videos like the Nerd Psychology, Nintendo the History, some really, really good shit.
Nintendo the History.
But then he would also do like a Dream Daddy video every fucking day. And it's like, oh.
I was definitely watching him before he started the Dream Daddy thing, and I was like, I might not watch this guy much more.
It's like,
I was not feeling that. I was like, this is a weird dude.
It was so close, right? And then like it went to recap, and we're like, all right, we're getting there. We're getting there.
I love his story though. Like he's really grown. Like the fucking your everyday nerd thing. I mean, he's very consistent with it. Like the topics are good. Like I think
your everyday nerd
potential there, and he's definitely seeing growth. I mean, he sees growth faster than I've ever seen it. So like he just needs to keep it up.
Your Everyday Nerd was like the culmination of like high production content that he was making back in 2016, but didn't know quite how to just do that on its own.
He's going places, I guarantee.
Right, and it's like a little bit of Roberto here, a little bit of talks with everybody, a little bit of like listening, a little bit of seeing where everybody else is going.
Which means we're gonna get somewhere
transition on a snap and then fucking went with it. And I'm like, damn, this is so cool.
And I think he's putting out content a little faster than you, Aiden, just because he doesn't do like as deep a dive on subjects. Like when you do a subject, you're doing like a deeper dive, which obviously is going to require more time. Which
absolutely
makes sense, and I still like I can appreciate that kind of content.
I can have a whole episode about like back to the video games, even in its concept does not necessarily mean growth.
Yeah, and even when you do like a cringy skit with like your brother or something like that, like who the fuck doesn't do cringy skits? Like I do them in my videos; they're fun. Like why not? Like
have you seen mine?
Jesus, I've accepted the fact that I'm not funny. But usually it's a pace breaker is what it is. It's like, all right, I've talked about a fucking video game for 6 minutes. Something
if you like doing it though, yeah. But if you like doing it, just keep doing it because like if people like it, they're gonna watch anyway. They're not gonna mind that kind of stuff. Like, oh man, I got some really cringy stuff coming out on the next Cowfro video actually. So that'll be interesting to see. I shouldn't be talking like a big game or anything. There's some real cringe coming.
I guess. A question I have for you then, since we're just talking about like YouTube stuff and our own journeys and stuff, is like
that's what it evolved into.
What was like the conception to like release into where it is now for Don't Live Like Me? Like I want to know what that process was like on your end. Was it just like I'm gonna fucking film little short bean videos every day so I can be more consistent, or was it like I'm gonna try this out?
Well, I'm a very blunt individual. I don't like to sugarcoat anything because I'd hate to have to remember a lie. So I'm just going to be as real as possible with you.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm a single father. I am constantly getting by the skin of my teeth. It's not that my job isn't good or anything like that. It's just, I live in the most expensive county in America, and it's been voted that like years and years in a row. So I think there might be something to the fact that I pay so much in rent, for example. But then at the same time, being a single father with full custody of my son, I don't get things like child support on time all the time, which means that like I'll have to do things like overdraft my account, for example, which can get really tiresome. So I decided to like work odd jobs and then eventually get a second job. But in the midst of trying to find ways to make just side cash while I'm doing my regular job, I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could make money off of YouTube since I like making videos? Like, I genuinely like making videos, so that'll never stop. But I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I could make money while doing it? I don't make enough videos on Cowfro regularly that I could put something out. And so I was talking to my mother about it, actually, and she was like, well, my mom's like thick New York accent. She was like, I watched this man on the YouTube, and he has all these suggestions for life help, and I was thinking Maxx could do something like that. That would be right up your alley. You're always doing the editing on your computer. And I was like, that's a good idea. Well, let me look into this, Mom. He's like super religious, and he's like, I'll be with you, and you got to do it like that. And I didn't want to be anything like that, so I was like, all right, so self-help sounds like a great idea. I could give a lot of suggestions as a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
So I drew up some ideas, and I was like, how am I going to present these and not sound like an asshole?
Yes.
And so I figured, all right, well, I'm really good at sounding like an asshole. Maybe I should just go with that. And I was like, what about negative advice instead of positive advice? Because I'm also very good at being negative. So I'm just taking natural skills and applying them to videos.
Right.
If I'm mad in traffic, let me whip out the camera. If I'm, if I have downtime at work and I can record my arcade machine because nobody's in there, like, okay, let's turn that into an episode. Like, it's literally what just ever comes to mind, and I can turn into a video in less than 10 minutes.
But was it a thing where, like, when the first couple came out, was it a little bit of, like, God, I hope this goes somewhere, I hope this lands with people, like, were you worried about the reception at all, or was it like, man, fuck this, I'm gonna do like 30 of these bastards, and I don't give a shit?
Well, as hard as my life is, and it is very, very rough, I have to be thankful that I have such a close group of friends. Like, I have
they do well. They do well.
Like, no matter how well my videos do, I've got my friends that are gonna fucking watch it and be like, dude, you're the man. Like, and that's what's so great about having the friends that I have. So I'm very grateful about the friends I have. That's for sure. Like, the friends I have here where I live in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we're not good enough for you. I see how it is.
As well as I love you too. Well, I was getting to that. Jeez, somebody needs a shout out.
In second place.
As well as I've always appreciated those people who were backing me before I was doing YouTube. It's kind of cool that I've met like Zach and you, Aiden, and now you, Parker. And I'm slowly cultivating a group of friends online, so that's cool too. And it's really cool just being able to talk to you guys and see all of you guys doing the same thing and having the same passion that I have. Because obviously, my friends here don't do this kind of stuff, so that's why they're always so supportive. They're like, I don't even know how you video edit. That's so amazing. You know, I'm sure you guys have friends that have no idea how to even
how to edit.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Absolutely.
So like, my friends look at me as like the nerdy guy. Obviously, to you guys, I'm not the nerdy guy. Like I know how to do exactly what you guys know how to do.
The weird one. I like that. Wow, that's cool. That's a cool story, actually. I didn't know it came up from such a weird and like heartfelt place, even though like the final product is like no mention of that whatsoever.
Right. I think that was worth mentioning, because for anybody who write this off as like, oh, he's just doing this just because he's an idiot. You know, they're not wrong, but like there's a little more to it than that.
Sure, and you can tell
I really
like
want to see it grow. That would be cool.
You could tell in like the background of some videos like kind of like who you were a little bit. But it was always still like back to the jokes for the most part.
Yeah.
So
like,
where it came from was interesting.
I've eased it back a little bit. Like I'm trying to make it clear, like just to make it clear, this is not really who I am. My kitchen's not always fucking dirty. There's not always laundry on the fucking floor. I don't wake up in my tub. Like, please. Oh,
I didn't actually get kidnapped by aliens. That was real.
I've seen the comment sections on like Kid Behind a Camera and what was the other kid I mentioned earlier, McJuggernuggets, and those people really believe that kind of stuff. That's why I'm like, I should just kind of make it clear every once in a while that this is fake.
Yeah. To me, it's fake in a way of like an old Boogie video. Where like, yeah, it's fake, but like you could believe that person would exist in real life. Like, I may be watching a character, but I guarantee you there are people who are actually living like this.
That's what I try to do with Cowfro, too. I don't want people to think of Cowfro as, like, me, necessarily. I want them to think that he's some arrogant piece of shit, and so I'm trying to, like, expand
the character.
Because I really want to make a video game at some point, and I think that would be a lot of fun to use everything from, like, the lore of the videos I've made so far.
That's what I'm going to college for.
XD.
Well, dude, if you ever want to dabble with that together, man.
Don't worry. That's what I was hinting at.
Yeah, I really want to get like a group within like the next 10 years. It would be really cool to get like a group of people together and work on a project. And I would really like to work on something related to my own characters, but like I'd be open to anything.
It'd be fun.
We can make the lines on our video game.
I have RPG Maker 98 experience and above. That's about as far as I've got.
It'd be like it's like Smash, but it's a couch. A fucking fleur-de-lis, a YouTuber that really isn't that nerdy, and then a fucking cow with an afro. I'd play it.
I think we should start off small and go with a side scroller and just like have multiple playable characters. The main character should be the cow.
Of course.
And then like you can unlock characters like just a fucking blue couch, and I think that would best unlockable character, because it's like, oh my god, you can play as a blue couch.
You can play as fucking furniture. How epic!
You can play as a piece of furniture. That's great.
It's
how
real.
Epic is this? Oh, jeez.
Karionyte coins.
I didn't have anything memeable for Karionyte.
You could use your little Karionyte logo as like the coin logo. That's for the collectibles.
Oh, that'd be great.
You go.
I'm telling you, man, we could have a game here. We can make it happen.
I'm down. I have a 3D printed Karionyte gaming logo.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
That's funny.
Aiden, you've seen it.
Have I?
Yes.
I might have forgot. I have a bad
memory. That's another thing about my content I should mention. Like, if you think I'm talented enough to be making all the artwork that I make, like, I get help. I get help from my best friend. Like, those Cowfro pictures are not always from me.
Sure. I get you.
Here, let me send that in the VC. Yeah, I have it. I made it in class. I have a game art class. Granted, I never took the game art class. I took the Civis class before it. I didn't get a chance to take game art. But
yeah, it is 3D.
You're taking a gamer's class right now?
No, I can't take the game art class because I have IB. But I was able to take the class before it. It was like intro to everything, so I know how to work with. I'm basically an expert at Photoshop and Illustrator.
Okay, so you have similar skills to me then. That's about the extent of my skills as well. It's like I have some
really good at
Photoshop skills.
Yeah, and 3ds Max, which is good for 3D modeling, but I'm really shit at 3D modeling.
Yeah, I have what is it? Blender. I'm like slowly learning that, but like it ain't for me.
It ain't happening yet, Chief.
So I suppose, unless there's any other things you guys want to touch on. This is the longest one we have.
Well, instead of touching on anything else, why don't we just leave it as next time you guys are dying for more content, you just bring me back and we'll do something else.
No worries.
Sure. This was really fun. I like where it went.
I'm always a big fan of The Other Side of the Fence because it always starts out as a shit show and then it leads into something bigger at the end. That's why it's The Other Side of the Fence.
Well, the last 2 episodes were a shit show.
Because, no, the thing is, once you get to the end, you're on the other side of the fence. The other side of fence. And there's something special about it.
I think we've
you got a little of my backstory, and then like the next time you get me back, you'll have you get the story of how I took over the world.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Nice transition.
So, where can we find you?
I don't know. I'm right here. What are you talking? Oh, right.
That fucking goddamn it.
I'm old. I make dad jokes.
You are a dad.
I'm Cowfro. Just look up Cowfro on anything. If you can't find me, you fucked up.
Yeah, it is like literally 6 letters.
Yeah.
It's
me.
Wow.
Aiden.
Go watch Don't Live Like Me.
Yeah,
well, yeah, that too.
Aiden, even though we already know who you are, where can we find you?
We already know who you are. Wow. Okay, I'm not special anymore. Just another guy on the podcast.
You are the literal co-host of the Other Side of the
Look
Fence.
at me. I am the Lukash Productions. Look how exciting I am. Okay.
Hey, you're the playable, secret, unlockable couch. Don't treat yourself like that.
Wow. If you want to find me on the YouTubes, you can go check out Blue Couch Productions. Currently working on the 400th video for the channel. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, Blue Couch YT. I'm also a part of like a million other different projects, but I'm sure Parker's going to mention some of them. The only co-op thing I do want to mention, if you like this sort of YouTube-y stuff, me and Zach do a whole podcast just about this stuff. So check it out.
If you're here from the Lions Honor Gaming, then you already know us from that. But if you're not, you should really check it out. It's a very Game Grumsy, Smosh Gamey kind of concept there, where you have a bunch of YouTubers together doing.
Speaking of bad branding, where do we?
Yeah, that's a verb.
Yeah. Aside from that, I suppose it's all. I'm Karionyte Gaming. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and comment, subscribe if you want to. Please check out my homeboys over here. We'll see you next time, and stay frosty. I've been your host.
Peace.
Okay, bye.